Hey guys, so I wanted to do my little weekly update and just let you know how my clinicals went this week and what's going on. So, first, I want to tell you that I got a 92 on my fundamentals exam. Told you my study method works. 92, whoop whoop, so excited. And for my first dosage test, I got 103. 103. I got the extra credit correct, so it got me some extra points. I took another dosage test today, so we'll see how that goes. I felt really confident about it. When I left, I was like, oh, I got this, definitely. So I'm really excited. I have a health assessment test on Tuesday on 4 chapters. A lot better than 16 chapters. That was the last one. So we'll see how it goes. I'm being tested on heart, lungs, uh, breasts, lymphatics, and like the veins, the peripheral vascular system. So veins and arteries. So anyway, I was really excited about my 92. It really was the and my 103. It was really the push I needed and the motivation I needed. My morale was a little low after my health assessment exam. I got an 80. I was a little about that. But I'm really excited. My grades are pretty good right now. And spring break is coming up in a week and a half, so that'll be great. I can't believe the semester is halfway over. It's nuts. Um, so yeah, I had another clinical on Monday, and it was actually really this week was awesome. So let me just tell you what happened. I can't tell you too many details. I told you before because of HIPAA, but so the way my clinical instructor kind of sets it up, I told you guys before, we were paired up with a partner in our group, and then we get paired with a nurse. The nurses at this hospital, like I told you before, are not receptive, and they're still not very receptive. They're kind of just like, okay, well, you can follow me, and here's your 2 patients for you and your partner, and bye. That's really how they are. They're not that helpful. There was one that was helpful, and me and my partner, we just left our nurse and ran to her, and we were like, please help us, because she seemed like such a nice person, and she really was. And then we found out that she was just floating on that unit today and it's not her normal unit. So we were like, man. So but we're trying to make the best of it. So since the nurses aren't very receptive towards us, we are taking more initiative. So my clinical instructor gives us a assessment sheet that we have to fill out. It has vital signs, it has pulses, it has a full head to toe assessment. And it's a full page, and we have to fill out every little detail, and we have to do it on 2 patients, one for my partner and one for me. But me and my partner assist each other. If I forget something, she reminds me, or stuff like that. So my patient, I was assigned a patient. I walked in the room, and my patient spoke zero English. Zero English. So I walked in, and I was like, hi, my name is Jessica. I'm a student nurse, and I'm here to do an assessment on you. Is it okay if I take your vital signs? And he literally looked at me uh, he had no idea what I was saying. So I found out that he spoke Spanish. So we have, in the hospital I'm in a lot of hospitals, they have an interpreter phone, has 2 earpieces, and you go on to the earpiece, you call this number, and then you ask for a Spanish interpreter or whatever language you need, and you give the patient the other earpiece. So I'd never used it or seen it or anything. We talked about it in fundamentals class. So I walked over, and I was just like, okay, let's figure this out. So me and my partner just figured out how to use it. I called a Spanish interpreter. I got a bunch of questions answered, like when's your last bowel movement? When's the last time you urinated? Are you feeling pain? I did a whole pain assessment, asked scale of 0 to 10. I asked all the questions that I could ask before a physical exam. So then I also asked her to ask him if it's okay if I perform a physical exam on him. And he was so sweet. He let me do anything I wanted. He actually had some issues with some like ulcers and stuff. So he let me look at them, and he let me just do everything, do a full body assessment. And I just thought it was so sweet that even though we had this language barrier, and it made it a lot more difficult, he was very open to the idea and just such a nice person. So I was really blessed in that, because when it comes to, first of all, a lot of patients, not a lot, let me say a few patients aren't very receptive to the idea of having students do things with them, especially when you're sick and you're in the hospital. And I completely understand that. But now adding the whole language barrier on top of it, like, I can imagine him getting irritated fast. He's in pain. He doesn't understand anything I'm saying. So, like, once we hung up the phone, the interpreter phone, then I had to start using Google Translate, and just typing in questions in Spanish, in English, trying to read them from Google Translate in Spanish. And eventually I couldn't say the Spanish words correctly. He was like so confused. So I just handed him my phone and was showing him all the questions. The leftover questions I had after we hung up with the interpreter. So anyway, it was very interesting. It really broke the ice for me. I was so nervous to do a head-to-toe assessment, and having this extra challenge really just broke the ice for me, and I had to just wing it. I was just thrown to the wolves. I had to figure it out, and I think that's the best way for me to learn. I went in a little nervous this week, and I was a little apprehensive about just like putting myself out there, and this week really taught me that I'm not going to learn unless I put myself out there. I don't have the luxury of having nurses that are super excited about teaching and want to teach us anything. So I have to push and do it myself, So it was exciting. It was an eye-opener. I spoke with my mom. And my mom is a nurse also. And so I spoke with her later in the day, and she was like, listen, learning Spanish, especially because I live in New York City, learning Spanish would be so beneficial for you. And just to have conversational Spanish and being able to communicate with Spanish-speaking people, it's going to, if you can put bilingual on a resume, that already looks good. You're more hireable, more marketable, but also it's just going to make your daily job a little bit easier. And so this summer, I'm not taking any summer classes, so I'm thinking about buying Rosetta Stone. And since I'm not taking any summer classes, I'm going to just have 3 months of not using my brain. And last summer when that happened and I went back to school, it was definitely an adjustment to get back in thinking school mode. So I think what I'm going to do is buy Rosetta Stone and learn Spanish in the summers. That's my plan right now, so we'll see if I actually do it. But yeah, it was exciting. Then we went and did did an assessment on my partner's patient, and she was the sweetest lady. Some of these patients are just so sweet to let us do all of these things. They're already getting assessments with their own nurse. They're getting their vital signs multiple times a day. Like, they don't have to let us do it, so it's really nice of them. So yeah, I'm just studying right now for health assessment on Tuesday. My next clinical is on Monday. And then I have a pharmacology quiz on Thursday. And then I have spring break. And then after spring break, I have a fundamentals and a pharm test in the same week. So spring break is going to be a nice little break, but it's not going to be a complete break because I have 2 tests the following week and I have to study. Having 2 tests in 1 week is killer. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. Definitely watch my study method video, because now I'm proving to you peeps with my 103 and my 92 that my study method works. So definitely check it out. It's the video I did last week. And yeah, I'm really pumped. I kind of just have a better attitude. I'm not as sleepy as I've been. I've gotten some good sleep over the past couple days. I think that really helps. And I'm just trying to be as positive as possible. I really like that now I'm in my clinical, I'm hands-on. My teacher is teaching us how to do assessments. And then this week coming up, we're going to learn how to give report. So we're going to go one at a time around the room at the end during our post-conference and give report to our clinical instructor as if we were giving a report to a nurse. And so that's going to be really exciting, like just to learn the more practical things in that we need to learn as nurses and the things that nurses actually do. So I'm really excited about that. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. I hope everything's great. The weather here in New York is phenomenal. It was like 76 today. It was beautiful. So I hope that you guys are enjoying really good weather too. Yeah, I'm working this weekend and I'm just going to try to get through this health assessment stuff. So have a good night. Talk to you guys later. Bye.